Good afternoon, girls. How are you? Okay, today we are starting in the new module 16, which is called Tools of Geometry. And remember, I told you from starting this week, we might be using the compass and the protractor, so it's better to try to prepare them, please. And as well, I uploaded a YouTube video for you explaining the first 2 pages of this lesson, which is the difference between a plane, a point, and a ray, a line, these things. Just you are required to make these 2 pages according to this YouTube video. For now, I'm going to explain with you this page because I found that some girls have a problem doing this page 774. It's very easy. Let's read it. The first 3 questions, question 1, 2, and question 3, it is transforming equations. Didn't we say that we have 4 transformations? Translation, stretch, shrink, and reflection, right? For example, in here, the only new thing that you didn't learn about is this 2 words. The vertical, the horizontal translation, and here it is called, I think there is a vertical translation as well. Yes, shifting. What are those? Anyway, translation, this is page 774. Translation is the same word as shifting. So when you are required to do shifting, you mean you are going to translate. This shifting or this translation have 2 kinds. Either vertically, which mean I'm going up or down, or horizontally, which mean I'm going right or left. Okay? For the vertically, up and down, let's take an example. For example, I have this function, I have x. When I tell you x plus 2, so this is translated up vertically. And the x minus 2, this is translation down, which means it's vertically. What if I tell you, for example, another example, 5x plus 2. Here طبعا you understand that this is y is equal to x plus 2, and here y is equal to x minus 2. Here y is equal to 5x plus 2. In here x is x, and for this x you are going to add 2. That's why it's up. For here يا بنات, the plus 2 is for the x itself, which mean y is 5 multiply all of this. In other words, when you are applying a bracket like this and you are adding a plus or minus, this is called horizontal translation. The main difference between this and this is that here there is no bracket. When there is no bracket, this means that this translation is happening for y. So it's up and down. يعني x, you can draw it as it is, and then you are going to add a 2 for the x. So you are translating up and down. When you are including a bracket, so you are translating for the x itself. That's why it's horizontal and right and left. If it's plus, so it's left. If I have, for example, 5x minus 2 inside a bracket, يبقى this is horizontal right. So according to this, let's go back to our question. Question 1, shift y 5x, يعني y is equal to a 5x, shift it 3 units up. 3 units up. يبقى I'm going to not include a bracket, and I'm going to add. طبعا up يبقى addition. Up is addition. يبقى y is going to be 5x up يبقى plus 3. And this is called the normal translation. طيب, this is number 1. Question 2. Stretch y equal to 5x vertically about the fixed y-axis by a factor of 2. Stretching يا بنات. How can I stretch? How can I stretch? We said before, stretching is the factor outside. يعني remember as a note here, didn't we say when y, for example, is equal to ax, this is the stretching and shrinking factor. And we said if a is greater than 1, this is stretch. If a is less than 1, this is shrink. Right? يبقى to stretch, just you are going to multiply the number needed outside. هو the question is y is equal to a 5x and we need to stretch it by 2. يبقى just multiply 2 in here. Y will be 2 multiply 5x. Why did I include a bracket? To indicate the multiplication. You can put it in this way. If you don't want to put a bracket, it's okay. 2 multiply dot 5x. This is how I can stretch. Okay? Going to question 3. Shift y equal to 5 root x plus 3 horizontally 2 units to the right and stretch by a factor of 3. طيب. Question 3. Y is equal to 5 root x plus 3. And I need to do 2 units right and stretch by 3. Stretch by 3, يعني all of this should be multiplied by 3. All of this is going to be multiplied by 3. يعني first of all, y is going to be 3. Multiply everything here. 5 root x plus 3 as a whole. Since there is a plus here, I put a bracket just to indicate in the 3 is multiplied by all of this. So it's better, it's more elegant to put a bracket and more correct, okay? I finished the stretching. What about the 2 units right? Going back here, we said, you have to know this, right? And I'm going to include a bracket for the x itself, and then I'm going to subtract. X minus means going right. So how can I put this? يبقى 3 multiply 5. Where is x? X is under the square root. So put a square root, and then for the x itself, I'm going to put a bracket inside, and then x minus 2. Close the bracket underneath the square root, and then plus 3. First of all, this stretch. What is the minus 2? Shift horizontally. What about this bracket? Why did I include a bracket? Just to make it more elegant and to indicate that the 3 is multiplied with all of the function. يعني as if you are saying 3y. For all of this is multiplied by 3. Okay? What about the bracket inside here? Whenever you are shifting horizontally, you have to include a bracket with the x itself. And then minus, so I'm shifting right. Plus, so I'm shifting left. And then I have to what? Close my bracket. يبقى this bracket is for the shifting horizontally. This bracket is for the stretch. Okay. Done with the equation. Going back here, angle relationships. I told you in the post that we have two kind of angles. The complementary angle and the supplementary angle. What is the complementary and what is the supplementary? The complementary is when you add two angles, for example, angle A plus angle B, and the addition is 90. Example, when I tell you 30 plus 60, they are 90. So these two angles are called complementary. Supplementary, when you add them together and it give you 180 degree. Example, when I tell you يعني A plus B should be 180 degree. So when I say, for example, 60 plus 120, this will give you 180 degree. Okay, based on this, find the complementary angle of 20. يعني 20 plus what will give you a 90 degree. I'm going to say for question 4, 90 minus 20 to find, which is going to be 70. Which mean in 70 plus 20 equal 90. So these two are complementary. You can do question 5 and 6 by yourself. And then I'm going to question 7. Find the supplementary angle for 80. يعني 80 plus what will give me a 180. I'm going to do it just shifting to find the answer. So 180 minus 80, it's going to be 100 degree. يبقى these two angles together are supplementary. Also you can do number 8 and 9 by yourself. It is in the same way. And then for the last part, find each distance and midpoint of the given points. Actually, this is what we are going to be taking in lesson 16.1. And we already took it in grade 8. I hope you can remember them. The distance formula and the midpoint formula. Starting with the distance formula, I'm going to write them for you here. But anyway, you are going to take it in lesson 16.1, so don't worry if you don't know it. We are going to be learning them again. For any distance, he will be giving you 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and then your distance will be square root x2 minus x1 all square plus y2 minus y1 all square. And then for your midpoint formula, for the midpoint formula, it's going to be, again, you have 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2. To find the midpoint, it's going to be x1 plus x2 over 2. طبعا you know that any midpoint, any point is known by 2 points, right? X and y. How can I find my x for the midpoint? I'm going to add x1 to x2 and divide them by 2, and add y1 plus y2 and divide them by 2. Example, let me solve with you one fast example. Where is it? Yes, again backing to this page. Yes, let's do, actually it's only, I'm going to do number 10, okay? And then you can do 11 by yourself. I have 6 and 14 and I have 1 and 2. Let's find the distance. It's going to be x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 all square. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So 1 minus 6 all square plus 2 minus 14 all square under the square root, and then you will find your answer. What about my midpoint? 6 plus 1, sorry, 1, this is 1. 6 plus 1 over 2 and 14 plus 2 over 2, which means that my midpoint is going to be 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 over 2 is 3.5. So the x of the midpoint is 3.5. What about the y? 14 plus 2 is 16. 16 by 2 is 8. So my y is going to be an 8. So this is my midpoint. Thank you.